Yay! What up, what up, what up? YouTube Live, how's it going? Good morning, morning. Right now is Saturday, November 23rd, I believe, 2019. And yeah, sorry, I wasn't here yesterday. I was busy working. So I missed out on giving you my review of Titan Season 2, Episode 12. But now I'm here. A day late, but hey, better late than never, right? So I need to talk to you about Titans, man. Holy crap. Okay. Season 2, episode 12. The title is Faux Hawk. Faux as in like Faux, meaning fake. By the way, this review is mainly for those of you who've also watched the episode. All right. There'll be spoilers in this video. There will be spoilers in this video. Um, First up, just a quick side note here. There's a bit of a funny impotency problem going on with some of the characters in this episode, which is funny, which cracks me up. Like Corianders couldn't, do her starfire power, and then freaking Hawk could not perform in bed. I just find that little chuckling. I know. It's a bit immature of me. Like, they're impotent. But obviously, Coriander's, having all this stress from the sister on her planet killing everybody and then doing coup d'état, and of course, Hawk broke up with Dawn, and apparently getting into some Fight Club. Look, it's the whole Fight Club thing, which is a big chunk of today's episode or yesterday's episode. Um, man, that's too cliche, man. That's like, of course, it's like, yeah, yeah, all right. He's in a Fight Club, underground Fight Club. Whoop de doo. What's new? You know what I'm saying? Like, I get it. That's the only skill that Hawk has. It's not like Hawk, now is gonna be like some kind of social media manager or works at a convenience store. so so you got to go with the most cliche side job to pay the bills for his type of skills. So when that revelation happens in this episode, I was like, oh, of course, of course. Why am I not surprised? He's engaging in some kind of underground cage match. Um, but yeah, but on the bigger scheme, I'm stoked that we are getting close to seeing Dick Grayson as Nightwing. As a matter of fact, next week's episode, which is the season 2 finale, is titled Nightwing. And they had a big, by they I mean DC had a big event of the unveiling of the Nightwing suit. I don't know if you saw that on Twitter. It was on DC Universe Twitter feed and it went trending. It's like, woo, look, the Nightwing, that's gonna be featured on Titans. And of course, by the end of today's episode, we see Dick Grayson going to the guy who makes the suits apparently for the Titans and even Batman probably. And he's like, yeah, he has his own team. Like, yeah, we got the suit for you ready here. um, this episode, I like it overall. I love it. Uh, my reaction to that is finally, dude. It took like freaking 11 plus episodes, right, for us to finally get here. Um, and I like how this episode makes things clear for us. There's no, what's the word I'm looking for? It's not cryptic. They don't. Uh, the story does not hide behind mysteries and like more questions. You know what I'm saying? It's like clear now. We know what happens actually with Rose and Slade. That she's been in on it with Slade all this time, and then the story moves forward with Rose and Jason because of that. And now we know that the rest of the team, their mission going into the season 2 finale next week will be all about saving Gar, and Dick Grayson as Nightwing will be joining their team in that effort to rescue Gar. Speaking of which, so yeah, by the way, before I move on, I just want to say that that is why I like this episode, is because it's finally coming together, right? It's not spread apart. It's not cryptic. They're not speaking in some kind of, like, oh, code messages or whatever. Or it's like, oh, and now the band is coming back together, and they have this one common purpose to save Gar. Now we're getting to, like, why we love superhero shows, to see the good guys, you know, kicking bad guys. In this case, the Catmus. But Slade will be meddling in that as well. So it's gonna be an interesting, and I think it's gonna be an awesome season 2 finale next week. Um, I loved also the way they play out Rose. Truth be told, I did not see that coming at all. Until, of course, last week when she spoke with Slade, um, that she's sort of like a spy, if you will. She infiltrated the team, however you want to put it, and I like that. That's a cool thing to play out her storyline. Cool thing on the writer's part, in my opinion. Um, and that drifts, of course, Rose and Jason apart. And so I'm betting there's something that's gonna click in Jason next week that makes him think like, oh, you know what? I know I hate Rose and everybody else right now, but that Gar, man, that Gar. I got a soft spot for that lovable tiger. So I think something will happen that makes Jason join in on the fight next week. That's my theory, at least. But for what it is in today's episode, that is fantastic. I was like, what are they doing anyway? That they're playing house in somebody's house, somebody else's house, like. And when he gets down on one knee and is like, "Oh, I'm making us our future with these hot dogs," I'm like, what? It's so corny. so so I'm glad that the revelation about Rose kind of drifts them apart, and it's like, okay, now let's get your heads on straight, you Titans. Um, and of course, Rachel Raven also comes to her senses, because this whole thing about saving Dick Grayson, as noble as that may sound, Dick apparently can take care of himself. And as we have discussed many times in previous videos reviews of this show, Dick is the kind of guy who just likes to wander off on his own and carries the weight of the world upon his own shoulder, and like, no, and then he pushes people back, or pushes people off from his life. So um as sweet as it was for Rachel to want to save Dick Grayson, it was a bit of a lost cause. It was a bit of a, like, it was like chasing the wind. Like, what are you doing? Obviously, Gar needs you more, Rachel. So I'm glad she comes to her senses too. And so, did I see it all along, that the common cause that brings the band together would be Gar? No, but I'm glad that that's the case. With regards to Gar, um, dude, holy crap, poor guy, huh? I mean, I think you and I have our opinions about each of the characters in the Titans family, right? There are attributes, parts of their personalities or characteristics or habits that about them that we like, and there are some that we don't like, right? But I think you and I can agree that Gar is the sweetest of them all. I mean, even when he abandoned Connor, remember that? Because Connor thought the police were the bad guys, and then freaking Gar kind of freaked out and ran away, and we like, what the hell, man? You're supposed to stand by your friend, and you chickened out. Even then, in that, at least for me, I feel like I can understand why he's so afraid. Like, the guy is just, the whole taking care of Connor thing is like in way over his head. It's like an assignment that's like it's too big for him to handle. He's Gar, man. He's just a sweet kid, and it's and, and now he's gonna try to, I don't know, trying to teach this Superboy kid about the world and how the world works. Gar's not equipped for that, so it's understandable a little bit why he chickened out and he ran away in that episode. It I don't condone it. It's still not cool on his part. That's not a cool. It's not a cool thing for a friend to do to another friend. Um, but I kind of get it. I kind of get it. So when this kind of thing happens, where Gar is literally being used by Cadmus as some kind of a test lab or lab rat, if you will, I'm like, I don't know. I don't wish for that to happen to any other Titans characters, but for that to happen to the sweetest one of them all, it just wow. I'm like, that, I don't know. It breaks my heart a little bit. I feel for the guy. It's like he deserves, like, he's a sweet guy. He deserves cool things. He's the kind of guy that just wants to, like that one episode. He just wants to play arcade. He has to play video games. He has his routine every day. He's not the guy that takes on mountains. I'm not trying to belittle Gar, but that's the kind of guy he is. At least the Gar that is pictured or portrayed or depicted in the show. The Garfield in Young Justice series, that's different. That guy, he loves fame and spotlight too much, man. so yeah, I feel sad that he's being used, and he kills so many people, including that doctor in that lab in last week's episode. I was like, oh, poor scientist, man. She was being used by Mercy Graves, to, like, because in Gar's mind, he was talking to, I think, somebody. I think it was Dick Grayson, and then Mercy Graves is like, triggers Gar, and Gar becomes the tiger, and then he kills the scientist. I was like, oh, poor. And then today or yesterday's episode, he kills a bunch of people in the Starbucks shop, man. I was like, what in the coffee shop, dude? That is gnarly. Oh man. So I am really looking forward to the Titans coming back together to take down Cadmus and rescue Gar. And so yeah, I'm glad. I'm so happy that the story now is finally coming into clarity. You know what I'm saying? And the people are not spread apart anymore. Finally, after 12 plus episode or 11 plus episodes, do I want the same format for next week? I mean, next season 3? No, I think this whole thing with Slade, his plan is to set the Titans apart. He's like, oh, that's how I'm gonna punish you, Dick. So you won't have your team together. All of you will be apart, and all of you would hate each other. Okay, I get it. I get it. Okay, you can say that's Slade's plan all along. But it frustrated me a lot throughout this whole season, and I don't want that same format to happen in season 3. Whoever the bad guy, the villain that they're gonna bring in, I hope the writers will come up with new conflicts that don't necessarily require the band or the team to always be apart for most of the time. Because I don't know about you, but for me as an audience, and I've mentioned to you many times, it did frustrate me, and I did not like it at all. So I love this episode. Now it's like, yes, finally we get to see hurrah again. What else? What else? Before I end, one last note regarding Jericho. I also did not see that coming. Just like I did not see coming the whole Rose with Slade thing. That was nicely played on the writer's part. And Jericho apparently, using his power, he ends up in his dad's head, in his dad's body, in his dad's mind. All these 5 years, he's stuck in there. Wow. So, what's the solution for that? What do you think is the solution to that? Should Dick, because Dick now has made a promise to Adeline to bring Jericho back, but how do you do it? How would one go about doing that? I'm so curious. What is your solution? What do you think Dick Grayson should do to bring Jericho back to Adeline? Should I mean maybe Dick could get somebody who's lying in a coma, or some useless body lying around somewhere, and then have Jericho jump into that body. I don't know. Um, it'll be interesting to see, because now he has made that promise to Adeline. Yeah, I'll try my best to bring your son back, but I don't know, man. How do you? And I can understand Jericho stressing out, because as nice as that lounge is, in Slade Wilson's head, apparently he's stuck in a very nice, white filled room that's everything's so clean. But if you have to live there for 5 years straight on with nowhere to go, dude, I would go insane. And why hasn't Jericho just will himself out of that, and to maybe to somebody else's body, be it comatose or not? Why can't he get out all these 5 years? So it'll be interesting to see. Oh man, I like it. I like it. Thank you. Thank you. God, it feels so relieved, man. I feel relieved that we're finally coming to this point in the story where the pieces are coming together in clarity, and I like it. I like it. This is a great episode in my opinion. So, what do you think? If you've seen also episode 12 titled Fall Hawk, by the way, Fall Hawk refers to the kid who steals Hawk's suit. He's a fake Hawk. I I'm not a big fan of that storyline. I mentioned it earlier. The whole Hawk being in a cage match is like so cliched, and now he's like being high again now. So it's like the writers are like, okay, let's put in something together for Hawk that may hopefully makes him realize what he's missing. That makes him realize the meaning of that suit, the meaning of being part of Titans. So I get it. I get it. It's a nice detour filler episode, whatever you want to call it, for him. But it's not something that gets me like, oh yeah, so excited. I was like, whatever you need to do, Hawk, to get your shit together, to get your head on straight, and come back to Titans. You know, have at it. Just come back. Just come back. That's my reaction to his storyline in this episode. So, if you what do you guys think? Do you agree or disagree with my assessment? And what is your theory going into the season 2 finale next week? What will happen? What will go down? How it will go down between Titans, Slade Wilson, and Cadmus. So that's like a three-way match, right? In order to rescue Garfield. How do you think it's gonna go down? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. I am so excited for season 2 finale next week. All right, subscribe to my channel, press that like button, ring that bell, and if you can help support my channel, please do so at patreon.com/ramascreen. Let's wrap this.